for joining me today. I'm going to be demonstrating how to make this super fabulous show-stopping necklace featuring blue moon beads. Now the technique that we'll be featuring today is how to make these very fabulous flowers. We're working with a variety of materials. Here we have natural shell. Here it's mixed in with some glass. We've even got some ceramic, these very wonderful art glass beads, some metal pendants thrown in, and this kind of cat's eye faceted glass. It's very pretty and really intense in color. These faceted glass beads here, again another punch of color. And we're going to mix them all together in kind of a pattern, a crazy pattern that looks very fashion runway chic. Now to get started making each one of our fabulous flowers, I'm working with those cat's eye beads. They're slightly faceted, great depth of color in these. Now I'm working also with a 24 gauge wire with gold today, but you can use the color of your choice. Now you're going to need about a 36-inch piece of this for each flower. We start out by taking the end, we drive it through the bead, and we push it out about a good 6 inches. We just fold it over, pin the two ends together, and then you twist. And you want to twist several times, get a nice tight twist in there. And we add our next bead. Now we slide this all the way down, leaving just a little bit of space between it and the last bead that we worked with. And again, we fold our wire over, we hold the ends together, and we twist. And we're going to repeat the same process for 8 of these blue glass beads. Now that we've made all 8 of our flower petals, we need to make sure that that wire is hidden, and we do that by simply twisting each bead to make sure that the wire is on the back side. Now this is just going to make it look a little nicer and a little cleaner, and just really put the focus on the bead and not kind of the mechanism of the wire that's holding everything in place. And now we're ready to add the contrasting color. Using a smaller bead here, this one happens to be a teardrop size, and I drive it through, and same technique where I drive it towards the center, fold the wire over, and twist some more. I do the same thing with the remaining beads. Now when you've finished adding your beads, you want to do the same thing where you hide the wire underneath. The good thing about wire is that it's forgiving, except if you tighten it too much. You want to make sure that you don't twist too many times, otherwise there's a chance that the wire might break. And then what I like to do is take this wire and just wrap it a couple times. It secures the beads in place. Kind of separates everything a little bit too. And at the bottom of the flower, I twist the 2 wires together. And then just using my cutters, I cut off any excess. And that is how you make this really beautiful beaded flower. Now after you've made your beaded flowers, we're ready to make the foundation for the necklace. This is a pattern that I've made on the computer, and this is going to serve as the foundation for my stiff felt. And I just made the pattern, printed it out, and then used a utility knife to cut around the stiff felt. Now it's time to arrange, and this is kind of where the artiste in you comes out. We take our flowers and start to move them around. I like an anchor up here, maybe another anchor down here. We'll add the metal in last. We'll take our largest pieces first, and then we'll start to work around them. So you just add them in different places until we've occupied all space. There's really no science to this, it's just where you think things look the best. Keep adding them in, where you think the best spot is, and one by one, your foundation starts to get covered up. Now don't worry if there's a little bit showing, and I've used kind of a neutral color back here, that way it shows a little less, but don't worry too much if you think it's showing because you can trim it away later. So we keep adding pieces. use a silver focal point here because it'll contrast against all the colors that we're using in this. You can add this one in here and keep moving things around. More silver. We need more silver to tie everything in. And then we can kind of place some beads around to see where they're going to look best. Now once you're happy with the pattern that you've chosen, we're ready to attach them to the backing. Now that we've had the pattern all laid out exactly the way we want it on our backing, we need to mark the places. Each one of these is going to get stitched in just using some fishing line. So we need to mark where we want it to go because we're going to remove the pieces and then add them one at a time. So we just lift it up and use a marker to add a little dot to indicate where each one goes. Now once you've done that, this is my tip. Take a picture of it. Print out the picture when you're putting it all back together. It'll really help and save a lot of headache. So now that we've marked where our flowers go, we're ready to attach them. We're doing so with the fishing line, and we clear off our space and we add them one at a time. So here's one flower. I've added it onto the spot that I've pre-marked. I flip the entire backing over and I use a needle and fishing line to just drive it through. And I just want to attach it kind of one petal at a time. You can skip a couple here and there, but you really do want it to stay secure. So to the back. You want to repeat this entire process, making sure that you have secured all of your flowers on. Now that you've stitched on all your pieces, you just need to add some ribbon to each end up here and you're ready to wear your super fabulous runway ready necklace. For more inspiration and design ideas, visit bluemoonbeads.com. Check us out on Facebook too.